and welcome back to the well saga. Is it a saga? Might be. Okay. I have a new 90-degree knuckle. Whatever I had. I don't need it anyway. And then I have a new foot valve, which is considerably smaller and nicer to use and operate than the huge things that are bottom of these old wells. The old big foot valves. Well, I'm going to pull this one out and you'll get to see it. Was the foot valve leaking down? Yeah, it was. I did clean it up and was aware there was an issue with it. So I've got over some of the issues on the line, but now it's a question of change that the 90-degree brass knuckle that's in the bottom of the well. That's got all its O-rings are rotted, dry, cracked. I think it's probably 30 years old, and the foot valve's at it. So we're going to replace the foot valve. Replace the 90-degree bend with plastic because it's easier for me to be able to get on and off and maintain, and it's got new O-rings. Brass foot valve obviously. Put the brass foot valve in a bucket, lower it all back down, and see if that solves some of our problems. Has the owner been and gone? Yep. So I managed to get it partially operational while he was here and the house worked. It did mean that the pump ran more than I liked, but it did work because it was losing pressure more often than it should. Anyway, let's change these over. We'll just pop down the well. Fortunately, the water levels dropped slightly because when I was in here, the bit I didn't film, discovering what was going on with the foot valve, where it comes out of the side of the well was at water level and I was getting wet feet. Are we going to get wet feet today? Possibly. Last time I did this I had a rope hanging onto it so that I wouldn't lose it. So let's hope I don't lose it this time. Have I got a safety harness on? No. Should I have one, really, in this well, because I'm here by myself? Nothing's easy, is it? Ugh. Now the problem I've got is I've got a full bucket of water on the end of this. It's heavy. Well, that's convenient. So what I've done here is all these things are all different connections I made up so I could get onto this, and then I just put a check valve on that to test what was going on, and that's when I managed to get something working inside the house. See what we've got going on in there then. Is it holding pressure? Yes. Is it dropping at all? It's got air in the system, I can tell you that, because it's wavering. Pump's not running, and it's not losing pressure. Will the pump come on? Still got air in it. Alright. Okay, is it running back at all? No, that pressure was just dropping out of there before, and now it's holding both forwards and backwards. Right, okay, we've cracked that one then. Pull that out, and then just let a bit of pressure out of it, I think. Okay, all I've got to do now, a wheel blurry, all I've got to do now is go back and fill in all the holes. A little bit of concrete over the top, and we're done, since we know we're not leaking under the floor. Yeah, I'll fill those back in, let a bit of pressure out of that tank, so they don't sit there holding pressure. That's quite interesting. You know, that's a sealed can of beer. That's what the winter does. Sealed. Crushes them. Actually, these are all burst. So it's sealed at the top there, very clearly you can see. All of those are burst. That's burst. Still sealed. That one hasn't burst, amazingly. Yeah, that one's burst. There's holes in these somewhere, there's got to be. Oh! There. So they just burst. Yeah, alcohol. Not my thing. Okay. Then what we can do is we can turn this tap off here. That seals the water in the building. Like that. Let the rest of the pressure out of the top of the tank. There. That'll release the pressure, and that way we won't stretch the bag, because I'm not sure when I've got to fire this up again. Let's turn this light off. My light switch don't work, so we twiddled the bulb. And we've definitely unplugged the water heater. Yeah, okay. We don't need to drain this house down, because he says, turn that off, he says he's coming back. Right. I'm in the tree. almost hit your own van. Now we've got to see if we can manoeuvre that cross breeching thing into position. Right, so I don't know if this is to stop people falling down this, because it's not going to work. But what I've seen it used for everywhere else is to put insulation on top. A layer of insulation goes on it. Just there. There's bits of wire attached to that. Now we've got the big challenge, and I really don't know if I can do this. I suspect I probably can't stand that well head. I suspect I probably can't stand this up by myself. That's what I suspect. Firstly, because it's rotten. Right, so anything you want to grab hold of just wants to break off in your hand. And secondly, because it's quite heavy. Now I can't pick it up by anything because it's just rotten. Everything's rotten. And if I stand this way and it stands up, it's gonna send me down the hole, isn't it? There's nails and things. Interesting predicament you get yourself into, Sorman. Yeah. Could have gone worse, couldn't it? Get off. Could have gone worse. Right. suppose we could treat this a bit like them stairs down there, couldn't we? You wouldn't even know. Oh, you might know. There, now you wouldn't even know that. There, see? Can't even tell I've been there. Right. That definitely concludes that. So it's a new elbow, new 90-degree bend, new foot pump, pressure tested inside, done. That's that job finished. And I've left my tools. See, there's a... I think I've been trying to do too many jobs, and I might have left some tools somewhere. So it's currently afternoon. 500 hours this morning. I was on the river. I did 2 hours and filled a 5-gallon bucket of fish. And after that, I had to rush through the village and cut some grass because they're in residence and it needs cutting while it's short, and it's going to rain again tomorrow. And then while I was there, I got called out because I got leaky taps in the other well job. That's because he didn't want to buy new taps, and I supplied old taps that were kind of bodged together. But now it's... Anyway, so I had to go there, but everybody needed a shower. So then I went back and I started painting the building, continued painting the building. Then I went back, shut off the water pump to the well, from the well, drained down the house, removed the kitchen taps, give him the kitchen taps. He's going to town, he'll buy some new taps. He'll call me when he's coming back, and then I'll be there and I can fit the taps, turn the pump on, fill the house up, put the water heater on. And now I'm going to go back. I'd really like to cut some of my own grass, actually. Or I could take some more scaffolding down. Or I've got a ramp to look at to fit the trailer. Yeah, anyway, we'll go do something else. Hello and welcome. Today I'm in my shop and we're going to try and recreate something from nothing. So I'm going to show you what I've got, which is the remains of a stair stringer. A lot of houses that are left empty for a long time or only lived in occasionally, the cellars are damp and rot, and dampness sets into the staircases that go down to the cellars. And I've seen 4 now staircases collapse, or just no staircase, or stories of people going through staircases. I went through one a couple of months ago. My friend's house, it's rotten, it's always damp. I've got the windows open in the cellar. Anyway, I went down the stairs and they'd been bad for a while. And I did tell him to walk on the edges. Anyway, he's a big lad, if you know what I mean. And anyway, it was quite broken. I didn't see, the lights don't work, and I went through the stairs. So I've been there today and put up some new LED lighting so we can all see what's going on. And I brought what's left of the stringer, which is the side rail to which all the stairs notch into, back here. I'm going to try and put it back together, recreate it and build a new one. So I'll show you what I've got. So here on the bench is the top part of the stringer. And it's got some very nasty looking mould on the back, and you can see there's not a lot left of it. And this is the top part of it. The bottom part of the stringer is that. That is what I've got. So I picked all those bits up off the floor, hoping I can put that together in some way and try and recreate what I've got to make to be able to fix these stairs. So I'm going to lay it all out and see if I can't make it look like something to get the measurements and sizes that I need. So this is the top part running up. Yep, that is indeed the bottom. This is the top part. I don't know what that part is. So there's the tread, that's the riser, and this is the bottom. And the tread and the riser. Riser, well, that's not quite lining up with that. Tread, riser, tread, riser, tread, riser, tread. There's obviously a section there completely missing. It just doesn't look like that's what's split out of there. Or there even. Or maybe that does. Difficult. Can I gain something from that? Yeah, well, I can gain the angle. Obviously this is level and this is the slope. So yeah, new LEDs. We can see what we're looking at now. Okay, so this is a scenario we've got. That's where I went through. I'll put a step ladder in there. The remaining steps are not that good. And there's our treads and risers. So we can see what's left of everything. And I was wondering if it was made in various sections. It looks like it was made in 3 sections. So what we've come back for is all of this, because it goes around the corner and each one of the treads is a different distance. So you can see this, look at this. Right, we don't even want to know what that is. Is it bad under here? Yeah, really bad. I'm going to have to do more remedial work under here because this is all going to give too. And the whole staircase is going to collapse all the way. So the whole thing is just so rotten. Really, it needs a whole new staircase. Anyway, we can see by the state of the place, not only can he not afford it, he's never here. So. And there's another frog in the cellar. Look at that. Hello, Mr. Frog. How are you doing? Why is there a frog in the cellar, Simon? Well, there just is. And you going to say anything? No? Okay. Why is that leaking there? Don't know. We've got the pump working this morning, so we're in the same place, you know, where we dug it all up. Some of you remember that. Anyway. Okay. What a mess I'm left with here. So I'll leave the windows open to try and keep it dry, because where the windows are not open, don't stand on the frog, Simon. This is the problem you got. And this is good compared to what it has been. It has been really bad. What can I hear? Water moving. I don't know. Anyway, Mr. Frog, you shouldn't be there, you're going to get stepped on. Okay. Let's get all this up and back to the shop. See if I can't work out what I'm doing here. Okay. So that is basically what I've got. Now they're kind of clustered together in a way that I picked them off the floor. But of course, if you could have done, you would have marked all these up so you know which bit goes with which stair tread and which bit is which riser. But I didn't have that advantage because they were all in a mess on the floor. So I've got to sort those into their respective treads and then match them with this, because each tread is a different length. So if we start with the bottom tread, okay, the bottom tread is 310 millimeters. The next tread up is 330 millimeters, 370 millimeters, and so on and so forth. 440 millimeters, 445 millimeters. So each tread as it goes up is longer in length because it goes round the corner. And I've got one tread down there on the floor more than I've got on the stringer, because you've got the very top one which goes into the next stringer. So somehow I've got to put these into their respective steps, if you like, stairs, to make sense of what I've got and which one fits where, which will give me the exact length of what I need to cut out on this. And looking at what's there, these stringers are made in 3 parts. A very clear top part, a reasonably clear middle part, and what is left of the bottom part. And they must be done like that for a reason. So that's probably how we're going to make it to put it back. I'm assuming it's to do with the fitting of the stairs going around the corner. Okay, so right at this moment, we have absolutely no clue what we're doing, but I'm sure all will come clear in a minute. I've also got to go and don some gloves and a mask, because this has got some really, really nasty stuff on it. You know, that's just not going to be good for anything. And what we don't want to do is catch anything off of this stuff. So, all right, I've managed to recreate the stairs, or the treads and risers, and the corner. So that's the first riser and tread goes like that. And then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then the corner. So what this now does is this gives us our length from here to here accurately, and then the next one from there to there, and that will help me recreate the top bit that's missing completely. All of this is missing, so I have no way of telling how long that should be without the treads, which I now have. So I should be able to confirm that by the third stair down. I should be able to measure this, squeeze this together, measure this, and then check it against not that one, not that one, that one. So that distance should be the same as the back of here to the front of here when they're all lined up. And that will confirm that is that stair. And then there's 2 below that. So if we go back here, we've got this accurately, we can confirm. And then there's the next one down, and then there's the bottom one. This is a bit, but now I can accurately work out what that is from that, and I can work out what this should be from the big one at the top, because I know this one goes into the corner. So for those of you who've been on the channel or around the channel for a while, you'll know we're in the Arctic, and you'll know that for 8 months of the year we're in winter, and for 4 or 5 months of the year we're in total darkness. And the darkness has arrived, so it's 0900 hours, all the lights are on, it's dark outside, it's wet, still not that cold. The cold is coming this week, so we haven't got the heating on in here, although the heating on here is run from the main boiler downstairs. Okay, so I think we're done with this nasty rotted stuff now. I think we can take the worst of that away. It's not something that we need. That needs to be burnt. I really dislike bringing anything with spores and bugs into here because some of our wood is stored for a while anyway. So I've marked this up now based on what we've got, what we had, and now I'm going to mark it up accurately based on the stair treads that we've managed to bring back. I don't think everything is perfectly aligned with how it's going to work, but I have got the bases of the first piece. So these stringers were made in 3 sections. What I find a little perplexing is why they made the bottom section, this section, which effectively should screw to the wall, which wasn't. And that's another thing I found quite interesting, is it wasn't screwed to the wall. It was kind of wedged in there. Anyway, but they made the bottom section so thin, and I don't know why. There's no restriction on my depth here, so this new one we're going to put up, we're going to leave in its full size, albeit we only need a small amount of it, just because I think that's better than the way it was originally done. Okay, so now what we're going to do is measure the treads and then mark this out and then cut this, and we're basically routering out the back of the stair treads to go in, and then once we've got that we can remake the middle section. This is another one of those covered in those nasty spores. So this is the riser off the floor, which means it sits in there like that, and then that will sit in there like so, and the last section sits on there thus. What I've done is clamped these together and made a mark, and now I've marked the first one out and used a palm router to router it out to the right depth, and cut the angle on the base of the stringer and where the first riser is going to go, and then fitted the first step. And made sure it's level at the top. Obviously that's not closed up. So that will allow us now to fit the second step and then mark out accordingly, and we'll repeat the process all the way up until we've got all the steps in this side stringer. And then once we've got the base, the first piece, right, we can start making this rotten disintegrated middle piece here. that is the easy bit done. The easy bit having taken an hour and a half just to do that. Anyway, you can kind of see where we're going now, right? So now we've got the hard bit, and that's the middle section. And it kind of varies in width, and it's broken. So we have the actual width here, right, which I can measure, and we're going to kind of work off of that. However, what we've really got to work off is the risers and the top tread. This is determining our distance of our actual width of this centre piece of wood, so, or the middle of the stringer. So the distance from there to there is the critical distance that makes or determines the thickness of the centre of that, because there's so much of it missing. But it's kind of there. My marks to where I started are close. So this is my mark going across, and for all the adjustment, and that's where I've ended up. So that was my first assumed mark. This is my actual mark. In fact, what we should do, because I've had it clamped together, is actually... I know we can't do that because we're about to do away with this bit of wood. Right, okay, so that's the way it is. Right, that's the easy bit, as I've said. And what makes it more complex, because it's a winding staircase, is this one's at 90 degrees, and then by the time we get up here, this lies at 45 degrees. So you're kind of having to be determined on all the angles. You're not doing a straight set of stairs. So, you know, say a straight flight up to a landing, to a turn, to a straight flight up, easy. Anybody can do that. Well, no, it's not easy, and no, anybody can't do that. Okay, it's the simplest of all stairs to do. When they actually wind, as they all do here, they all wind around a single point. The extra angles, I used to be able to do spiral staircases, you know. Anyway, it's not that difficult because I've done more complicated ones. It's just been a long time. So let's make this middle section now. And I've got my blank already there to be able to make the middle section. Well, this has given me as much of a nightmare as I was expecting. Anyway, I now need confirmation that where I'm at is kind of where I need to be. So we remove these rotten sections of this. It's not the best surface to be working on either, but anyway. Some of my marks are just not lining up. That's off by a lot. Now I've got that marked out with the tread and the riser, and we've got it all lined up. And now we've got our twin central mark running all the way through the three pieces. I can cut this one out. Stop, just stop. No, no, no. While I just make sure this. All right. Okay, we're all good. All right. We can go and fit that now then. Alrighty then, so we've transferred everything to the said cellar. I've had to do a lot of trips down here, bring all my stuff down here at once whilst being so careful on those stairs because they're just moving. Fortunately, I know to walk on the nosings and into the middle. So this is what we've got. This is the missing section. And you see this gap? Right, that's just increased to open up, that has, and you can see why. So you need to walk on the nosings and near to the internals, which is less rotten. That's dropped there, that was already like that. But as a reminder, if we go back inside and see what we're facing. Right, are all these stairs completely rotten? Yes. Is the whole thing going to cave in? Yes. When? Soon, if I don't do something about it. So, the strange thing is, none of this is attached to the wall. So we're going to put a bracing beam underneath there, and we're going to put another one all the way down through there to hold that up. And then we're going to strengthen some of these that are more broken. A lot of them are broken. It just seems to be wedged in there. There's no fixings. So we're going to change that and put some fixings in. But pretty much everything's rotten. Right, everything's rotten. Okay, so what we've done is effectively made a bottom and middle section of the stringer here. We're going to put all the treads back in, and there's a reason for this. Should I pull the whole lot out and build a new staircase? Yes. However, if I do it cheaply, the staircase is going to cost 3 times what the entire house cost. If I do a really good job and put it back the way it was, it's going to cost 5 times what the house was purchased for. Yes, no exaggeration, that's not me being expensive, right? Because if you've got a local company to do it, it would cost 4 times of what the house would do it, and there's certain things they just wouldn't do because everything else is rotten. So, and then you've got to get them here, and then it'll take 2 years to get the job done. So, yeah, it's not me exaggerating. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it back and we're going to repair everything else. The biggest problem with down here is because the house is not lived in. Even though I've got the windows open, you can see what horrible, miserable day it is out there. Right, horrible. So I've tried to get an airflow down there as much as possible, but it's just wet and damp because it's not lived in. There's no heat down there, there's no airflow, and therefore everything's rotting out exponentially. And I've improved it from what it is the best I can. But yeah, this is what we're left with. So we're going to do the best repairs we can and get it stabilised so it doesn't collapse. And then we're going to put that back in there. And I'm not going to video all of the job while I'm doing it because I've not only got to have the light on, right? I've only got this with me and I can't stop to charge it. So you can see the 3 sections there looking something like what I had. So the first thing to do is stabilise this corner and then get the base stringer in, which is there, and there's the mid section and the top section, and then I've got other bracing timbers, blocking timbers, everything I need, and hopefully all my tools down there. And I've laid out all the original treads and risers in this room. Alright, and the pump is all working good, and the LED lights, I've put up new LED lights so we can see what we're doing down there. It's permanently wired now. That's not very good, is it? That's not very professional. I haven't clipped that up. That's bad. Okay, let's see what we can do. Alright, so what I've done is I've done this to get this side stabilised for a moment. Right, that is screwed and wedged in there, and that's closed all that gap up. We've done the same on the back wall, right, to strengthen and stabilise that. That's wedged in and screwed and fixed back to the wall. Then we've got the base stringer in and fixed off securely to the wall with 12 fixings. Yes, and this first step in. So now we've got to put the middle section of the stringer in and attempt to fit the treads and risers, and I'm going to fit them coming down, not going up, otherwise I'm going to have a problem on this corner. Alright, let's see if we can reverse install this. I have closed up that gap. I've wedged it up and closed up all the gaps. So everywhere where it was, do you know, I'm gonna rip this off. I'm not sure what's hiding behind there, but whatever it is, it can't be good. I also made a really grim discovery, and I won't get close in. I won't get close in. That there is a dead animal. And what I can tell you is the ribs on it are similar in size to a cat or a small fox. Anyway, it's been there for an awful long time, because it was hidden under all that junk I've moved in there. Yeah, very pleasant workings. I've worked in worse, as you know. Right, let's see if we can get that next section on. Okay, well that's a bit of a challenge. And the reason for that being is it's had this cladding put on the wall after the staircase was put on. So now I've got the middle section of the stringer in. There's no room to stack down from above. Oh, right, £3 club hammer, that helps. Okay, so we've got this step in now, and then we're piecing in the second step, and yeah, not good. Anyway, the reason that wasn't a problem when it came out, of course, it just collapsed on the floor in loads of pieces. So, well, we're coming down. We've got two, one full and half a tread in. Half a? Right, we're coming down. So, we think at this point we're quite good so far. So I'll show you what I mean. This is the nosing section that's got to go on the front of this tread here, but we can't put that in until we get the bottom one in, otherwise we won't be able to get the bottom one in. And if we fit it into this corner here, it's not quite tight, but it's almost tight. We're a long way off on here, and you can't put it in that corner and then put that one back. So, you know, it's tight getting it in. I might have to dismantle this into the 3 sections or 4 sections that it is and then put it back together, because yeah, and I'm going to have the same problem the further down we get. These ones weren't so bad because I had an angle to get into, but it's taken some knocking about to get it in, I think. But if that doesn't work, then I'll have to take it apart. We're getting there. I got a bit frustrated with it. I had to leave it. So now what I've done is I've drilled into the concrete and fixed all of the timbers off. I've got something to do up in this corner here. We're looking good down this side. We're looking real good. I'm going to put some more of these support plates on these stairs, but yeah, it's going in. It's just a bit frustrating. It's also going back in tight into this corner here, so we're all good, I think. So that leaves me 2 to do, or 1.5 to do, depends on how you look at it. But they're certainly going back in more solid, and I'm putting plenty of screws in there, side plates, backing plates, and then we're going to come down here and strengthen the middle of all of these. Yeah, what a task. Well, what a fight. Do you know, it went all really well. I got a bit of damage there. I won't fix it, you won't see it when it's done, but I couldn't help that. It had to come in from the top there, and even though I had something over the top of it, I was using the mallet. There we go. I was using the mallet on top of that, with the club on top of that, and it was still too tight. Anyway, we're in, and we've used some fixings in the face. Right, no, I've got to do it like that. I've got to fit this top bit in down here, and I've done all the bracing underneath here up until that one. So I'm going to put some more braces up here to just help hold all that lot together, because we're braced at the sides now. I don't think there's too much of a problem here in the middle, but I won't know until I get this wall off. Anyway, I'm going to go and celebrate with a cup of coffee now, and then come back and fight this top bit in. That's it. Casper's come to do his inspection of a job. He's never been down here before. I've been working down here for so long, he thought he'd better come and have a look. Anyway, so this is where I am. I've got the top section fitted in. Right, what a nightmare. Anyway, I've got 2 more bits to fit in, but my shoulder can't take any more hand sawing, and my mate's coming, allegedly, to fix these stairs. I might have something to say about that. My mate is coming to fix these stairs. Now, he's got a heart of gold, don't get me wrong, but he couldn't fix a wrestling match. And he's got skills. He has got skills. He's got skills with the old blowjob, blowtorch. He's quite good with the blowtorch, but as far as fixing yeah, right, anyway, I don't know now. And I'll show you what I mean. I've got to clean it up. Right, it's in a right mess. Anyway, I was amazed that he's bought a vacuum cleaner. And I was like, great. And it's the bag sort, like semi-industrial, you know. I've got 2 or 3 of them. Oh, that's the water pump. Anyway, there we go. So, this is what I use for cleaning out my boiler. Great vacuum. So I brought it down here. When I plug it in, no. Right. What an idiot. What an idiot. What use is that? That ain't going to go in there. No. That's an English plug. And unless I'm very much mistaken, we're in Sweden. Right. So I don't know if you thought that was a good idea, right, to buy a vacuum cleaner in England and bring it here with an English plug on it. So I'm not vacuuming. He can vacuum. He's got nothing to do. I left him some offcuts there, look. Right, in case he wants to set fire to the place. I left some more in there, yeah. I'm going to let him tidy up and do the vacuuming. His water's on. He's got LEDs down here. We can see what he's doing. We don't even need lights. Yeah, I'm coming, B. Yeah. And we've done all the alterations in there. Fixed all the stair treads that need fixing. Made the stringers. I'd like to have finished this, but not only did I injure myself, but my right shoulder can't do it. There's just another 2 sections to cut in. And yeah, they're stronger than they were. Arguably, they're stronger than they were when they were new, because they weren't fixed off anywhere. I don't understand. There is no fixings in this at all. So anyway, there's plenty of fixings in now. I've done all the verticals. And that's me done. Better than it was. And I'll be glad to get out this nasty, horrible, disgusting hole. And maybe, because he's got nothing else to do, he might clean the place up. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you all for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.